This is Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook. Today on CNN, a Wisconsin company named 3 Square Market, or 32M, is planning to microchip its employees. I was going to print out something, but they're going to place a tiny little rice grain sized chip right here on the hand. And so instead of a card reader, they can swipe, they can just tap their hand, and they're going to be able to purchase really important things like snack foods and open doors and get into the break room, all because of this little microchip implanted in the hand. And they're going to partner with a company in Sweden who apparently has already done this to some of its employees. And so the obvious concern is this the mark of the beast? Okay, because in the Bible, Revelation 13, 16, and 17, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, okay, or their forehead, that no man or woman may buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that number would be 666. So 6, 6, 6. So anyway, interestingly, we have a 6 here. So I wanted to know, I'm very interested to know, is this the mark of the beast? We live in such a very non-religious society. Okay, America is a very non-religious society. Even though a lot of people say they believe in God, it's a very non-religious society. I did some mission work in the Dominican Republic, and one of the things that really struck me there was that, the devil and the spirits were like people standing on the corner. I mean, they were just, wow. I mean, they were just like right there in your face. And it's very different here in America. This is a very rational society. Very, very rational. So anyway, let's take a look. Is this the mark of the beast? Is this like the precursor of the mark of the beast? Like Adolf Hitler. Okay, he slaughtered so many Jewish people. And I'm a little bit Jewish. And not a lot, but probably enough to be killed by Hitler. Anyway, they say that he was not the Antichrist himself, but a precursor, an image of the Antichrist. And so let's kind of explore that idea, because things just kind of pop up. So anyway, so here, this is a basic Celtic cross which has positions. So this first position here, we have the snake. Okay, so this is the main position, and then this is what's crossing. So the two main cards here are extremely negative. The first card is the snake, and the snake reminds me of the snake in the Garden of Eden. Okay, so why did Satan appear in the Garden of Eden as a snake? He could have appeared as any animal. Well, a snake is cold-blooded, and that's very important, because the major difference between angels fallen and exalted is that they are cold-blooded, like the snake. Humans are warm-blooded, and this is actually their main interest in humans. Is the snake has to receive heat from the environment and from the sun in particular. The same with the angels. They receive the source, the life, from God himself. They're not warm-blooded. We, on the other hand, are made in the image of God, and we are spiritually warm-blooded. Okay, so the snake here is quite a negative card. I would take this as Satan in the Garden of Eden. Crossing that is the incubus succubus. So I could expect a positive card to cross this snake, but this is a very negative card. The number of the devil is 666. We also know this from the Bible. Okay, so we're talking about the mark of the beast. Okay, the number of the beast is 666. And here we have the most negative 6. So 6s are all relationships. Incubus succubus is purely selfish. An incubus or a succubus, it's a parasite. It sucks the life out of its human host. Okay, so a snake needs the life, the life energy, the life, degenerative life force from God. It's cold-blooded spiritually. Fallen, all angels, whether fallen or exalted, they're cold-blooded, and exalted angels, they live in the presence of God. Okay, so they're constantly receiving the life force. They exist within the life force, so there's no problem for them. Whereas the fallen angels are now cast down to earth, and so they receive the life force from us. That's why they're so interested in us. Okay, so it's purely selfish. So this selfishness, this company, they want to implant chips, in people so that they can buy very valuable things like ho-hos and Twinkies and, coffee. Yeah. So eternal salvation is worth a cup of coffee. Or is, I don't know. That was kind of a joke. So the company is just entirely selfish. I mean, it's ridiculous to me to implant a chip in a human being so that they can get a ho-ho or a cup of coffee. And so it's just completely selfish. On the bottom of this, we have the two of spades, which is the broken chalice or broken relationship. And then the spread turns very positive, interestingly. So the first 3 cards here are very negative. And the broken chalice is like, this is a foundation card. The foundation is broken. Okay, the fact that they're talking about implanting people with chips, the relationship with God, our place in the universe is kind of broken. We don't know who we are, and who we are as humans, men and women, is directly in relation to who we are in relation to God, and that relationship is broken. People believe there's no God, there's no devil. We worship rationality. I'm very educated myself. I'm not against education. I'm for education. I almost went back just the other day and got another master's degree just for kicks and giggles because it would be fun. And I enjoy studying. So I'm not against education, but that doesn't mean I don't realize that my relationship to God is important. Those two things are not exclusive of the other. Okay, so is this the mark of the beast? So far it's looking really bad. We've got an image of the devil. We've got a very selfish relationship, and this is a good image of what the devil wants, fallen spirits want with humans. Is they're very selfish. They just suck the life out of humans. And our relationship with God is broken. Okay, so behind we have the 10 hearts or cup overflowing, which this is an excellent Holy Spirit card. somebody who is in an excellent relationship with God is filled with the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit overflows them. So behind is very positive. There's a lot of God going on. Even though things are looking dire here, there's a lot of God going on in our world. Above, and this can also be, like, depending on the reading, this can be on the mind of. The butterfly is very fleeting. It's very light. It's very fun. It's very attractive. It's here and it's gone. I feel like this, hey, let's implant some employees with chips, haha. This is just a blip on the screen. It's a stupid idea, and it's here and it's gone. It showed up in the news today, and it's here and it's gone. That's how I read the butterfly. And then in the near future, we have the lovers. God always shows up as the lovers. He's not sort of a vague, general kind of love. He's a very personal love. We are the bride of Christ. It's very much a love relationship. So far, these very negative cards are balanced by some very positive cards. So is this the mark of the beast? Okay, and the outcome card is very important. And look at that, we've got the angel. Okay, and this is a warring angel. This is like, I made this like a warring angel. So this is like the angel Michael. They're, angels aren't like fat little babies playing harps. They do all of the business of God. They do everything that God needs them to do. They manage the creation in real time. So they're much more powerful and knowledgeable and intelligent than most humans. A lot of them are. Some of them are very simple, but a lot of them, the really strong ones, are really quite something. They're like gods to humans. I mean, we're like roaches compared to them. We're meat bags. Okay, so, but that's not who we really are in God. Oh, and interestingly, we have the broken chalice and the lovers showing up. Wow, polar opposites here. Okay, polar opposites. So there's a real battle going on. Okay, so here in the self position, we have the Ace of Hearts, or heart. And heart is kind of a general love card, like I love coffee. I love my dog. I love driving, So common grace is happening. Okay, the world is still, even though this is kind of a really bad sign, common grace is still going on. People and events, what's really going on? City is about just lots of people, a whole bunch of anything, and especially people. So this is just the masses. And city is very much a rooted, very kind of a dead card. My feeling of this card is it's kind of like it's unconscious people. It's just very dark, very rooted. I don't feel like these are a whole bunch of enlightened people. People and events, we have the cornerstone, a solid foundation. This could be very different. This could be 4 spades, coffin, or death. And in spiritual readings, and I didn't realize that this would be such a spiritual reading. Interestingly, I'm reading about the mark of the beast, and I didn't realize it would be such a spiritual reading. Silly me. So I'm sorry if it just sounds really spiritual. This is how it's coming out. This is how it is. This is YouTube in the 2000s. So anyway, Cornerstone is a very solid card. Hopes and fears. I think we still have a solid foundation, and the outcome, we have the angel. Okay, which is a sort of a polar opposite to the snake energy. So we have a lot of opposites here. We have broken chalice in the lovers. We have the cup overflowing in the angel versus the snake and the succubus and the city. So it's really balanced. Basically, okay, with regard to the mark of the beast and the Antichrist coming, the Jewish people, they just did straight math, okay, and using straight math, the Antichrist is supposed to show up on the scene around 2230. Okay, it's 2017. We've got about another 215 years to go. 213 years left. They tend to be right. That's just a straight calculation from Genesis. So and so begat so and so begat so and so, and they just added it all up using just math, and they came up with 2230. So hopefully we'll be, off of this planet by 2230. And populating other solar systems and or planets and such. So is this this company is going to microchip its employees? Is this the mark of the beast? Let's summarize. Okay, it's kind of bad. Okay, this is kind of like a shot over the bow, and it's very negative. And the world is very selfish, and this company is really only thinking of itself. I mean, that doesn't benefit the people. I mean, come on, putting a microchip in somebody so that they can buy a cup of coffee or a ho-ho, that's ridiculous. And this stems from the fundamentally broken relationship. People just don't know who they are, and it's getting worse every day. And people don't know if they're male or female. They don't, they're just confused. You could be president someday. No, you won't. And I'm not going to be president either, so get over yourself. So now, behind we have the cup overflowing, we have the butterfly, we have the lovers. There's still a lot of God's spirit in our society. This is just a passing thing. I think we're just going to hear about it today and it's gone. If I didn't go and make a video about it, maybe nobody would have even, I don't know, it's on CNN, somebody's got to notice. And then we have the lovers, and this in a spiritual reading, this is a great card. So even though man's relationship is broken and we've kind of lost our way, and that's how this is kind of appearing in society. Things appear when it's their time. So this is kind of like, it's just going to it's just going to make a little appearance and then it's gone. Okay, this time. Okay, there's not enough to root it here. The cup overflowing is just going to wash it out. God's love is still here, and it's just going to show up and it's gone. The angels are still very powerful. Common grace is ruling, but the masses and masses of people here are asleep or dead spiritually, even though the foundation is very strong. If you read that book, the Bible, the best-selling book of all time, it indicates that a small percentage of people, and it's not 144,000, so if you think you're one of the 144,000, I think you're going to be disappointed. But it's a small percentage of people, a tithe, okay, a tenth. That's why we tithe. That's why we give 10% to God, because that's an image of, it's not every, all dogs don't go to heaven, all Jews don't go to heaven, all Catholics don't go to heaven. The number of people, the gross percentages, sometimes it's more in history, sometimes it's less. The gross percentages of people who are in right relationship with God is not very large, around 10%. Okay, that's so anyway, this is hopefully this was not too serious. Is this the mark of the beast, this chip that they're going to be implanting? Essentially, no. I see that God is too strong in our world now, although the tide is shifting. The tide is shifting, but there's a lot of strength. The world is still quite sound spiritually overall. So that's kind of my reading on it. That's my reading on it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck pictured here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook.